7, the other is a 13.
Aha, 13.
Mike is saying something right now.
Excuse me, you think I can eat all this by myself?
Bitch, I don't know your way.
I'm more of a canine cat control in real life.
Weird in this light.
In the merciless environment of the desert that my pride calls home, community is paramount. We hunt together, we gather together, we protect each other, we prosper. Strange stars, arcane runes, superstitions, and blood maledicts. All the reasons why I had to leave, to face these elements alone. Until I met her, a Genasi woman. We said we'd protect each other, or something along those lines. I have a new pride now, and I will do what I can to not let my curse get in the way. Hopefully with their help, I can cure it, or at least learn to live with it.
Oh, hello there. No, don't mind the snake. Gypsum won't hurt you. Unless I ask him to. My name is Sivan. It's hard to say what I'm looking for exactly. All I know for sure is that I haven't found it. I believe that my mother may have the answers I seek, but I can't really confirm that until I actually meet her. However, I feel fairly confident that I'll find her. I've always had a knack for, let's call it, premonition. I remember sometimes as a child having dreams or strange feelings that seemed to guide me, sort of. Gut instincts that hinted at what may come, and they were usually right. But my father was a simple merchant and had no patience for such frivolity, as he would say, so I learned to just ignore it. Years later, after my father died, I wandered around for a bit until I finally landed in Boaz. It was there that my arcane training began. Well, training is a strong word. Let's just say I found an underground study group. There, I made a few friends, honed my skills, and finally started to feel at home in the world. After a few years, though, I realized that I had stopped learning new things. I had stopped growing. As hard as it was to say goodbye to my friends, I realized it was time to go and seek my next challenge. You see, upon my father's passing, I discovered a letter that was hidden from me, for many years apparently, and this is what has set me on my journey. I must prove myself. To what end? I don't know for sure. How do I intend to do it? I don't know that either. I'm not sure if I need to become more clever or more powerful, but I intend to do both.
What are you doing in this jungle? What? You want to know me? I am Conley. I think it means fire bat or something. That's what my friends say to me. My job is to make sure people don't come here, take away all the trees just to make another tavern because the old one started to smell funny, or start another war and have to build more walls just to burn everything in between you and they. I do this because my friends are good to me. They take care of me, raised me up from when I was found in this jungle with no memory and an empty stomach. They teach me to hunt and thank the things I hunt for helping me keep living. Though I like the big monsters of the desert more. They are fun to fight and make very good tools from their body. Big bugs especially. They say it is my job to tend to the balance. I like to think it means that you can keep being people and grow and build and all that, and my friends can keep being the free life that they are, so long as nobody push too hard on the other. My friends say I don't fully get what they mean, but they are happy I protect them, so this is what I do. Your old Sultan respected this balance. Let's hope the new one does the same. Now, if you are a trader or nice person, you can go through. Otherwise, if you bring any harm to this place, I will make new tools from you. So tell me, what are you doing in this jungle?
Evening, good to meet you. Most folks know me as the Jackal of Zaracuda, but my friends they call me Jack, and I hope we can see each other as friends. You may know me as a spy and advisor, or you may have heard of me from that unfortunate assassination business. Well, why don't we put all that aside for now and get down to business? What can I do to help you out today?
We're live! Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Legacy of the Lazuqu. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We will not be having our wonderful friend Savon to play around with at the moment, but we will see her next time. And I will be partially running her character for her in her stead. Let's see, is there anything else? I don't think there's anything else to go into. So, I suppose let's get into it. Who would like to give a recap? I did not prepare one of my players for this yet. So, I'm just bringing it on you live.
Previously on The Legacy of the Lazuqu, the party had entered into the spirit world of Revea? Correct me if I'm wrong.
You got it.
I did it without notes. We entered into the spirit world of Revea in hopes of restoring the spirit tree and getting rid of the dark mystery goop that is plaguing the party's adventures so far. Upon entering, they met with the spirit bird they had healed earlier, who gave them the favor of transporting them up high onto the cliffside so that we could get further in, on which we found a ruined building that was not supposed to be such. After a while of exploring and learning a bit about gravity puzzles, we had entered a room with a mysterious figure and a strange creature in a magical spear. which gave quite a prelude to combat, and then the session ended. And now here we are.
Indeed. So, let's part back the veil of reality as we enter into the world of the Lazuqu Desert. And rather, even weirder still, the spirit world of Revea, where our heroes have just been sent topsy-turvy by strange tiles on the floor, and have been avoiding this blackish goop along their path that they have seen outdoors as well. We start our session deep into the pits of this temple, where this dilapidated old ruin seems to house some less than savory characters, and at the very back there seems to be a strange snake-headed woman that seems to be doing some sort of ritual or summoning of some sort at the very back of this massive back chamber. She, as you all entered into the room, you all noticed that this definitely seems to be some sort of ceremonial chamber, but there's also, you notice little bits of tools around, and tables, and strange wooden, but broken, but still wooden, seems to be some sort of, like, loom or some sort of working of cloth, and some sort of, I guess, a dilapidated workshop of sorts in part of it. As you enter into the room, you also see that there are two massive pillars on either side of this long rectangular hall, and in the center is a 3x3 grid of massive stone tiles. Within that grid, you see that there has been this blackish goop, and beneath it seems to be a pool of water beneath the platform that seems very similar to that of the spirit spring from the Temple of Tartaja, where you met Alhamara. So basically, there's kind of some sort of water below this floor, and unfortunately, it all seems to be black. There's not a trace of clarity to it. And you all walked in, and this figure turned around and acknowledged you. And she said in a loud, clear voice with a smirk on her face, "Oh, good. It was hungry." And I would like you all to roll initiative.
Excuse me?
What a great way to
hungry?
start a session.
Oh no.
Alright, 1 second. And wow, Sivan rolled really well.
Good. I'm glad.
Okay, Conley.
9.
Jackal.
Natural 20 for a 24.
Wow. And our friend 13.
20 non-natural.
Alright. Some high rollers up here. So, let me just organize this real quick. Alright, so, you all step into the room. She greets you with this strange, mysterious, phrase. And luckily, Jackal is right off the cuff able to get the initiative on her. To give you the scale of this room, you all are entering through a 10-foot kind of doorway. You have about 30 feet until this 3x3 grid starts. The 3x3 grid is made up of 10x10 tiles, so the entire thing would be 60 feet in terms of width and then depth, if that makes sense. So basically, think of a 60 foot by 60 foot square, and that is divided up into 9 equal squares. And you can notice that on some of them, a large portion of some sort of very gross black goop has completely engulfed part of the tiles. So, some of them will be either difficult or impossible to step through, perhaps. So, you are starting out the door, and this snake-headed lady is at the very back of this 3x3 grid. What do you wish to do? And the blob is behind her.
Okay, so she's 80 feet away from me.
Yeah.
That is just within range of my short bow.
Seems
So-
convenient.
I'm gonna be doing that.
Okay, go for it.
I would like to use my bonus action to take steady aim,
Okay.
which means I cannot move, but I'm gonna take that advantage on the short bow attack.
Okay.
17?
That will hit.
All right. 20 points of piercing damage.
Wow. All right.
Nice.
Wow.
Good start. Good start.
Five from the short bow, 15 for the sneak attack.
Okay. Does this does this look like anything? Is this just kind of like, is Jackal just like not taking any seconds for the pomp and circumstance and just whipping
No,
out the bow?
he is just taking out his crossbow, or his short bow. That's Monday night game. And taking a deep breath, and just trying to strike true.
All right. Yeah, so you let this arrow fly as this snake-headed lady is obviously pleased with herself, and she immediately takes a massive hit to the shoulder. She kind of falls back for a second, and then she kind of has this screech of like, ah! As she turns back to you, and she looks really mad and ready to rumble. Is that your turn?
Yes.
Okay. Next up is going to be Savan, actually. And Savan is going to stay back with the group and let out a wonderful spell that she has used before, known as Chromatic Orb. Let's say, RJ, what type of damage is Savan casting this with? Acid, cold, fire, lightning, poison, or thunder.
I rolled a d4 dice, so it's gonna be cold.
Cold, alright. So, Savan is going to kind of conjure a sphere of energy and hurl it at this snake-headed lady with a... Let's see, what is her bonus? Unfortunately, it whizzes past this snake lady. She completely is able to dodge out of the way, and it goes wide. It was there was a ways for it to go, and it wasn't quite as fast as the arrow. So Savan, I think she doesn't have too much to do with her bonus action. I guess she's going to, a gypsum is going to kind of crawl out from her shoulders and crawl onto the floor. But that's going to be her turn. So next up is 13.
Just a real quick, how far away is this
The
woman?
The 3x3 square, or the 3x3 tiles are 20 feet away. Start 20 feet away, and then it is 60 feet in full length from it. However, let's break out our tic-tac-toe board, shall we? So if you draw a tic-tac-toe board on some of your notes, I will tell
Sure
you
did.
which ones have the black goop on it. Are you ready for it?
Okay.
Okay, so if I start from the top left and then go 1, 2, 3 across, and then the second one, 2, 4, 5,
Is
6.
top on our side or their side?
Top is facing your perspective. So as you enter
Okay.
the room, the top left is 1, and then the farthest back left is 1, and then 2, 3 across, and then the next row is 4, 5, 6, and the next row is 7, 8, 9.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
No.
So
So when you say top, though, like, so I'm imagining top then being on the side of the enemy, like where they're
Correct.
standing.
Yep. So the farthest away is the top row, The in between
Okay.
is the second row, and then the third is obviously the third row. And the top left, so the farthest back left, is 1, and then you go from there. So you go across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the next row, and then 7, 8, 9 on the last. Is everyone good with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the black goop has engulfed quite a few of these tiles. It has engulfed 4 of them. They being number 1, so the top left.
1.
Number 4, which is the second row, first one.
4.
Number 6, which is
6.
the one on the right.
Middle right.
Middle right. And then number 8, which is on the middle bottom.
The one closest to us?
Post it into the Twitch chat so both the viewers and us can get an image of that. Oh, it just did it in a straight line. Thanks, Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch is one line.
All right, everybody has to manually build their checkerboard from there, but I gave you all I got. Those O's are people.
Flash.
There you go.
So if we're entering from this way,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
Good job, team.
So, 13, you are up. You basically can tell that you can cross over from one good tile to the next on the corner without being engulfed. But if you step or stop on one of these goopy tiles, there might be some consequences.
And we're all about the consequences. Maybe.
I love them.
I'm going to... Well, 13 is going to save that for later because he probably couldn't reach. 20 feet, he's going to move up to 9. And then from there go to 5 and then 3.
Okay.
So
Absolutely.
that's... he's just going to double move, so now he has 20 more. Actually, I'm going to throw a hand axe at her.
Okay.
Long range is 60, so
Neat.
it's
Sure.
at disadvantage.
So, when are you throwing this? Like, how far into your movement are you throwing it?
When he gets to the final square, which is
Okay.
going to be
So yeah,
3.
you'll be within 30 feet there because she
Oh.
is just beyond square 2.
Sick. So that's going to be normal. Well, bonus action rage then,
Okay.
and then recklessly throw a hand axe at her.
Okay, go for it. And then something's going to happen after your attack.
17.
That will hit.
She's going to be taking 8 points of non-magical slashing damage.
8 points. Okay. She looks particularly peeved that you had the gall to walk up to her, and as you kind of throw your hand axes, you suddenly just start to see her a little bit closer, and she has these really well-defined facial features, a strong jawline, and then her hair is just these wriggling snakes of all sorts. And as you kind of meet her gaze, it seems just to capture you for a second. And I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, good. I just want to double check something on rage.
Oh no, we dropped the deuce.
21.
Okay, you started to feel a little kind of like something almost just capturing your essence for a second, and then you're able to break out of it. But it's definitely some weird magic going on. Is that your turn?
I have a second attack.
Go for it.
He's gonna turn his head and yell at the others, "Do not look her in the eyes!"
But not.
25 to hit.
That'll definitely hit.
For 10 points of slashing damage, non-magical.
Okay, 10 points. Absolutely.
I cannot do that again, I only had 2 hand axes.
Alright. She takes 2 solid hits to her chest and is starting to... you start to see a slightly green ichor start to emerge. She's not bloody, but she definitely is taking some hits. Next up is going to be her. And so, This
Heck.
this snake lady looks incredibly just annoyed and both thrilled at the same time, and she comes up directly to you, 13, on the tile 3, and she's going to take a few swipes at you.
She will be taking them at advantage since I reckless.
Okay. And she's going to come up to you and take a short sword at you and come at you with a surprising flash of quick movement. The first one, let's see if it's better. No. That is going to be a 16 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. So, that is going to deal... Oh, a whopping 3 piercing damage as she just gets you in the abdomen. But as she does that, she seems to like whip her head around as she's stabbing at you, and her hair, all these tiny snakes emitting from her head, jab out at you in one large bite. Let's see if this will work. Oh. That's a crit, my friend. So, they, like 3 of them just maul you simultaneously, and you feel venom immediately soak into your veins. They are going to do 10 points of piercing damage.
Reduced to 5.
And... $25 points of poison damage. In your neck, in your shoulder, and on your arm, you just feel a burning, searing pain erupt from where they've bit you. And that is going to be her turn. Next up is going to be Conley.
Oh boy! All right. So I would love a couple of quick questions. So, you said there also was something in like a magical sphere, some sort of like creature in like a translucent, so difficult to see through sphere, right?
So you see that behind her is this kind of amorphous blob that is very clearly made with something similar, like somehow made with this black goop that you're very familiar with now. Except for this one seems to be almost like holding something in a bubble. And it's not, you can't see through it, but it definitely keeps on like shifting around as if there's gas inside and something's moving. It's about a large size, a bubble.
All right. Does it look like this snake person is trying to keep themselves in between 13 and this sphere, or are they not as like interested in protecting it over stabbing us?
Maybe a quick insight check, why don't
I
you?
would love to. All right, here comes a 1. Insight. 14.
14. You think that she is more interested in attacking and reaching out to 13, approaching her, than she is protecting at the moment.
Okay, so then I am not going to prioritize that for now.
Oh, and while we're doing that, 13, would you please make me a perception check? I meant to do that.
Ooh.
RJ?
Sorry, I was having some issues on my end.
Oh, okay.
Perception, correct?
Yes,
How
please.
dare you?
12.
12. Okay. Yeah, you think that this goop that is even encompassing these tiles is quite thick and built up. It looks like it keeps on moving around, but that's all you can tell right now. So Conley, what were you up to?
Conley is going to start off staying where they are until I can get a better vibe check. So I'm going to just grab one of my javelins, and I'm just gonna vibe check her face real quick and just get some damage estimates out.
Okay.
All right. 22.
22. Yeah, that'll definitely hit.
Fabulous. All right. So I do 10 piercing damage. And then my little friends need what kind of save again? Gathered Swarm. There you are, little kids. Are you not scrolling down? I would like to see the bottom of my screen. All right, let's see here. I am trying to find that right there. All right, I need a strength saving throw.
It's going to be a 16.
16. Dang, all right. Nothing happens.
Okay.
And then, is there any space on the side of this checkerboard to go around, or is it only the checkerboard from like wall to wall in between us and them?
There is a thin layer of normal floor on either side of the left and the right specifically, and then there's those two massive pillars. So it's probably about a 5-foot kind of like lip around it, and then like that goes all the way back to that back area where this blob is.
Okay, then I'd like to move my way around on the left side opposite of 13 and Snakehead, and move about halfway down the board. So just a 30-foot movement, so I'm going to be just left of 4.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You were able to do so.
And that is my turn.
Okay. Next up is going to be back at the top of the round with Jackal.
Okay, so she's moved up a little bit closer.
Yes, she is on square 3 with 13.
Which is
The top right.
at most how far away is that?
From you, it is even closer than it was before. So it is 20 plus about 50, 55 feet. Or about 50 feet, yeah.
Okay, I would like to move my 25 feet up, I believe, through square 9.
Okay.
Just so I can get a little bit closer.
Absolutely. Oh, and Conley and Jackal, make me a perception check.
All right.
I'm lucky.
Oh, by the way,
24.
I'm just going to say
24.
that Sivan had her dancing lights also. I forgot to include that.
Okay.
But this room is mostly dark other than that. What was that, Connor?
24.
Okay, and Conley?
13.
Okay, so Conley, you kind of notice that the room is like very symmetrical. Everything seems to be quite one-to-one. But Jackal, you even take it farther. You can tell that there's something to this goop that's not right. It seems to kind of like be building on itself on this grid, and you kind of just sense a weird drip. And you look up, and what you see is that there's a mirrored grid of 9 that is also on the top of this entire massive room. And you see that the grid, similar to the one you see in front of you, has a massive amount of black goop encompassing it and most of its tiles. Are you all ready for another tic-tac-toe board? Alright, y'all ready?
Yes.
The square number 2 and 3 from the first row, so the second and the third. The middle one only, so number 5 from the second row. And the entirety of the bottom row is encompassed with this black goop. And Jackal, as you are kind of like noticing this, as you're stepping onto this tile, number 9, you also notice that there's a familiar indentation in this tile you're standing on. It seems to resemble that of the tile you found at those dead ends in the rest of the building.
Okay, so knowing that, where's Dusa?
Dusa is on number 3, the back right, with 13.
With 13.
Yes, they're both on 3.
Are there indentations on the roof?
The,
I wouldn't be able to see it on that particular square since it's covered in goo, but are there?
as you look around other squares, you do notice that, just like Conley noticed, the symmetry is uncanny. It seems like every detail has been put on both the top reflection and the bottom.
Okay. I don't want to do any. I don't want to try anything while
Do it.
That's fine. Do whatever you want.
while 13 is on the same step.
Perfect time for science.
But I've moved my 25 feet into the room, into square 9, and I would very much like to shoot do so again.
Okay, please do.
It's a 1, but I'm lucky.
Okay.
18.
That will hit.
Drastically different.
Uh, 17 points of damage.
Wow. All right. Yeah, absolutely. And I presume did you take aim this time too, or was that just normal?
No, that was still with sneak attack,
Okay,
but I did
right.
not take aim to get the advantage.
Oh, gotcha. Right.
Instead, I would like to use my bonus action to dash cunningly into square number 5.
Okay. You may do this. You kind of leap over, and yeah, you're able to make it into square 5. And as you look back towards the snake lady, though, you notice that even though you're not aiming at her, as you kind of come across her face, suddenly her gaze just seems so intriguing to look at. And I need you to make a Constitution save.
13.
All right.
There's a theme going on tonight.
Jackal, you are so intrigued by this beautiful face, and you just get so lost in her eyes that you just suddenly seem to want to stay still for a little bit and not do anything at all. And you find yourself completely frozen in place, and you are restrained. But you you can repeat this at the end of your next turn. I'm sorry.
I'm cool with getting stoned. That's fine.
That's fair. You're not petrified yet. Alright, next up is going to be Sivan. And Sivan is going to take some steps up kind of near where Conley was heading. And she is going to cast a spell. Let's see. Has she used this before? I think she has, yes. She's going to kind of conjure a set of meteors, small mini meteors in her hands. And she is going to use one to expend it and fling it at this snake lady. So... Dex save, okay. She fails. And you see that the Medusa... Oh, you know what? Okay, she can aim it such that she doesn't hit 13. That's what she'll do. So, that is going to be a sizable 8 points of fire damage as this meteor explodes in a small, like, kind of like 5-foot radius explosion. And I think that's most of what she does. I don't think she has many bonus actions. So she's just going to kind of be just kind of near calmly on the other side of the grid. And that is going to be her turn. So next up is 13.
Okay, so time for some dumb stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to grapple her.
Okay.
For a 20. She needs to make either a dexterity, acrobatics or
yeah.
athletics.
Okay. She will do this. She got a 15, so she fails.
Cool. I'm going to use half my movement to drag her into the black goop with me.
Okay.
Her movement speed is 0 since she's grappled.
Okay. Isn't there some sort of rules for dragging a grappled person?
You basically have your speed when you're dragging someone.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Okay, well, you are able to grapple her. What does this look like?
You watch as he's taking a page out of her book and his arms elongate onto the ground as these 2 serpent heads appear where his fingers are, and he will slam them forward and constrict her, followed by just like walking backwards into the goop with this sort of wicked smile on his face.
Okay, as you do so, you hear her cry out, "Now, get your hands off me!" And her hair snakes are hissing and kind of whining at you this entire time. Where are you dragging her?
I'll drag her down into 5, 6.
6. Okay. So, you willingly enter into this goopy, gross tile, and as you make contact with this strange, gross goop, I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Oh boy, 17.
Okay, you got just what you needed, so you are able to resist this slime that seems to be kind of trying to latch onto you, and as if it knows that something's inside it, it's kind of writhing towards you. It's still touching you, and you start to feel an immediate burning, but also coldness as this touches you, and you're going to take 3 points of necrotic damage as your legs seem to be drained as you immediately make contact. As you see this snake lady kind of writhing in your arms, it touches her legs and her arms, but it doesn't seem to hurt her as she steps into it. But she's still mad at you.
Cool. I do have my claws out, so that means I can make 2 attacks against her.
Doesn't
my Path
grappling
of the Beast.
take your action?
It takes an action that can be replaced by any attack, if I remember correctly.
Oh, is it not? I thought
So,
it
like-
replaced the attack action. Does it not?
No, it just replaces one of the attacks in said action, if you have multiple, right?
I'm honestly not sure. Does anyone else know?
When you want to grab a creature or wrestle with it, you can use the attack action to make a special melee attack, a grapple. If you're able to make multiple attacks with the attack action, this attack replaces one of them.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Yeah. So you still have your others. Go for it.
Because one of the things I wanted to do was shove her into the ground with this second attack, but if she's not getting hurt by it, it's going to be claws! Claws all the way down.
Alright, go for it.
I'll do this recklessly. 22 to hit for the first.
That'll definitely hit.
For 8 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And on the second is gonna be a 27.
Ooh, alright, yeah, that'll definitely hit.
11 points of slashing.
11 points of slashing. Okay. Wow. Y'all are ripping into her. She
So tit
looks
for
bloody.
tat, the hand snakes bite into her.
Absolutely. Give her a taste of her own medicine, right?
I think this means we're married now.
All right, is that your turn?
Yes.
Sir. So, she is next, and before doing anything, she goes, I'm done messing around! It's time for you to see my work! Come! And she cries out and just suddenly looks, as she's in your arms, towards this blob at the end. And she kind of, with what limited movement she can, she just kind of gestures triumphantly and says, Show us your transformation! And as she does, this blob immediately starts to writhe and kind of wriggle. It seems to undulate, and strange large protrusions out of different parts of this bubble start to manifest. And finally, after just a second or two, it kind of seems to take form, and suddenly a massive 5 foot, like about 5 foot, maybe 3 to 5 foot claw comes ripping through it in some sort of lion-like or feline kind of large clawed creature. You can see that as this inky black unnatural being steps through this bubble, breaking its cage, you see the head of a lion and the tail of some sort of strange like either reptilian or dragonish thing, and you also see a pair of small but inky black wings on its back.
Wait a fucking second.
And this thing seems to kind of emerge from this bubble, and its eyes just glossed over with darkness and an absence of light, and immediately turns to look at 13 grappling this snake person. And it is going to run at you and make a pouncing attack. So I would like you to, I believe you just do the same type of resistance you would for a grapple check in order to prevent being knocked down. So a strength or a dexterity one, please.
Woof. 14.
Okay, and are you still doing? Did you attack?
That was an
recklessly
athletics
last
that you
round?
just rolled.
Yeah, what was that, Luke? Sorry.
Did you attack recklessly last round?
Yes.
Okay.
And was that, Mike?
Oh, I thought he asked first a strength or dex check.
Oh yeah, it's either one. Yeah, and you said it was, what was it again?
A 14.
Okay.
Well, that was you rolled an athletics instead of a strength or dex.
No, because
I think you can use athletics or acrobatics. Yeah.
as a grapple check.
So the attack itself, it starts off with a bite, and it's coming at you with a 23 to hit.
Yep.
And that is going to do. That's going to do 8 points of piercing damage with its teeth sinking into your shoulder, and then it's going to attempt to claw you as well. Wow, it got 2 3s, so it fails, and it swipes at the empty air where you just were standing. Oh, it actually gets another claw attack, so it's going to try one more time. Oh my goodness, it just got 2 nat 1s as well. So this thing was not meant to claw you this turn. This black inky maw seems to almost be unfamiliar with its shape. It seems bulbous and abnormal for its body. And now you are well engaged with this creature as well. And that's going to be its turn, but now we're going to go back to our snake lady friend. And she is going to, still with her short sword out, try to get back at this rude being dragging her into this black. So, first one is going to be only a 13 to hit.
That's a miss.
Okay. She kind of like is with her hands restrained, kind of like, get off me, and kind of flailing at you're easily able to dodge. However, the one part of her that is not incapacitated by your grapple is her hair, which is coming at you next. This is going to be a 24 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be 5 piercing damage.
Just 2.
And 15 poison damage as it rips into your skin yet again. How's 13 looking?
On a scale of 1 to 81, where 81 is my max HP and 1 is near death, I'm at a 26.
Okay. So 13 is definitely a bit bloodied. So she's going to take those attacks against you, and then she's going to use her last attack to try to break out of your grapple. So I need another contested strength check, please.
25.
Okay, she doesn't break out. She's like writhing and like, I will break free! And she's still very secure. But that's going to be her turn. And next is Conley.
So, 2 quick questions. 1, can I see how wounded 13 is right now?
You can tell that he is bloodied.
All right, question 2, does it look like this goop is restricting anyone's movement while moving through it?
Oh, I did forget to roll extra damage for the group on 13.
Heck.
13, you take 3 more points of necrotic damage. You're trying to see if it impedes movement, is that correct?
Yeah, does it look like it might be difficult to slosh through, or
It
could
does.
one...
It does. It looks like 13 was able to get into like the square and kind of you can maintain that grapple, but it seems like if he tried to move through the bulk of it, it would definitely impede his movement.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try and jump across one of these squares. So I'm going to put my back up against the wall real quick and just try and make a running jump across over 4 onto 5.
Okay. You're able to do so.
Okay, just...
wait, that's what? 10 feet.
It's 10 feet, yeah.
Okay,
so...
then I guess... I forget if that you can just do that or if you have to roll.
I'm willing for either.
Long jump 5e. So I believe for a long jump you usually need a 10-foot wind up, and you unfortunately have a big pillar to your left 5 feet away from you.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. You can leap half that distance if you don't have a 10-foot head start.
So, standing long jump then, alright.
And
I
then
can do that then.
Up to your strength score.
Strength score, 15.
So that means you can move 7.5, or you can jump 7.5 feet.
Damn it. Alright, well then I am not going to bother jumping, and I am just going to slosh my way through. Right, Conley's going to do a thing. Conley is going to just start wading through this goop if I have the capability to try and get into space 5.
Okay, then yeah. So as you step into it, you immediately feel this searing pain, both burning and cold at the same time. You take 3 points of necrotic damage as it kind of saps some of your energy, and I need you to make a strength saving throw as it starts to cling on to you like walking through glue.
11.
Unfortunately, it seems to be really hard to rip off, and you're starting to get bogged down as if it's clinging to your clothes and everything. And unfortunately, you are kind of clung to at the moment, and it starts to just kind of cluster onto you. It seems like you will move at about half movement until you remove it, and it's sticking to your skin.
So, damn. So that means I'm going to be stuck in 4 for now. I need my movement. Or my action. Damn it. Alright,
So it was about 5-10 feet to get in, and then you still would be able to kind of like slosh through to 5, because it was only 10 feet total. So even with half movement, you would still be able to get through.
While in 5, then, am I within touch range of 13?
You would not quite be there, both in 6, which is about 10 feet away from you.
Okay. So as I'm trying to move through, Conley is getting frustrated, and I'm just going to and just like raise my hand up and let fire grow out of it and just create flame and throw it right into the face of this little furry creature that just came out of the goop.
Okay, go for it.
7.
Okay, 7. That is not going to hit, unfortunately. It whizzes right past its inky black eyes.
Damn. Well, at least one more thing happens, and that is both of the enemies will make a, where is it? Spores. A con save.
Okay. The snake, I'm just going to call it a Medusa. It's a Medusa. Medusa got a 13, and the other creature got a 19.
Okay, so just Ladusa is going to take 1 point of necrotic damage from these spores floating in the air around me.
Okay, she is struggling and coughing up fumes at the same time.
And for my bonus action, I am going to just try and let out just like the loudest guttural roar I can in hopes of getting the attention of at least the beast.
Okay, make me either a performance or an intimidation check.
Ooh, tough choice between a +0 and a +0. Ugh. All right, well, I guess I'll do performance. 2. I'm not very distracted.
Okay, yeah. So look on these like, are you just kind of giving out a random roar of sorts, not one animal specifically?
Just trying. I'm trying. And that's my turn.
Okay. Next up is back to the top of the round with Jackal.
I'm sorry, 13.
Alright, so Snake Lady is there in the goop with 13.
Mm-hmm.
Conley is in the space with me.
Mm-hmm.
And the new combatant Chimera Manticore thing is where?
Also
I think
in 3. They're all 3 in 3.
Oh, they're in 3.
Yep.
I thought they were in 6.
It is the Manticore is like half on the tile and half not.
13
I'm sorry,
in the Medusa are on 6.
You're in 6, and it is taking up 3. That is the correct answer.
Oh, okay. What else is in 3?
Nothing else.
Goop.
But okay. I'm trying to figure out what I deduce about the Medusa. No, there's not a lot that I don't think I can be clever this round. So I'm going to well, I'm also still restrained. Crap,
You indeed are.
What does that do for me? Oh, I can't go anywhere.
No, you cannot.
And my attack rolls have disadvantage. Ooh, I don't like that. So I'm going. My movement speed is 0. Guess what I'm about to do? I'm about to take some steady aim.
That sounds good.
And I will attempt to shoot the deuce.
Okay, go for it.
That's 10.
Okay, that will miss.
That's my turn.
You're feeling a bit stiff, Jekyll. I don't know why. Can't imagine.
I need to make another con save.
Yes, you do.
17.
That is enough to break yourself out of it. You feel like you're overcoming this stiff movement and breaking free from her gaze, and you immediately feel freed back to your normal self.
Okay.
Next up is going to be Savan, and Savan is going to take another meteor attack against it, trying to hit both the Manticore-like thing and the Medusa. They need to make dex saves. Manticore definitely fails. And her DC is 14. That is... Yeah, they both fail. Although because... that's tough. No, I'll give it to her. Normally, I guess I should... The DM playing Savant should think about 13 being in the same square as the Medusa in the future, but I'm not going to do that right now. So they're both going to take a nice 8 points of fire damage again. And the Medusa is looking bloody. If I hadn't said that before. And I think that's most of her turn. So I'm going to kick it now over to 13.
Oh boy. How does the Medusa look?
She's bloodied.
Cool. Bonus action, second wind.
Okay.
Which is 1d10 plus... What? Class level. It is I, the fool. I get 10 back. Hell yeah. 11 back.
Nice.
And I resume my onslaught.
Alright, now that that's out of the way.
Okay, reckless. That's a natural 20 for a 28.
Okay. Yeah,
Critical hit.
This is on the Snake Lady, right?
Yeah, Snake
Okay.
Lady for 15 points of slashing damage.
15, that's a lot. You're ripping into her, I guess it would be your kind of shoulders right now.
Second attack. For 17.
That will be a glancing blow.
So she'll be taking half of 12, so 6.
Okay. You get the feeling like she is in a world of hurt, and she has not stopped her incessant screaming, though I will spare you the details.
Last but not least, a 25 to hit.
Yeah, I'll definitely have it.
For 10 points of slashing damage.
Okay. Yeah, she's looking a little hurting. She's pretty bloody. Is that your turn?
Yes.
All right. Next up is going to be this inky black lionish figure, and it is going to continue and ignore Conley's attempts to distract it.
Look at me! Hey! Damn it.
Kind of gives a strange... It seems to give like a roar motion, but as you see its mouth open, all you can hear is some sort of weird, gross, like gurgling as if kind of like bubbling muck or mud of some sort. So is going to make start off with a bite on 13. That's going to be a 17 to hit.
That's a hit.
Okay. For 6 points of piercing damage. Then it's going to make 2 claw attacks against you as well. That is going to be a lot more than it was last time, but not a crit. There's going to be 9 points of slashing damage on the first claw. Second one is 24 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be another 9 points of slashing damage on the claw.
You know, still a better place he was at the beginning of this round.
I'm happy for him. But that's going to be this beast's turn. Next up is going to be the Medusa herself. And at this point, she's looking really aggravated and mad. And she's going to kind of start to put her hands together and kind of do some sort of incantation for a second. And right as you're kind of trying to stop her in whatever she's doing, with just a blink of an eye, and suddenly her form dissipates into blackish mist and reappears on the square number 2, directly diagonal to you. And she goes, "I am quite sick of your behavior, and I think my friend has something to say about it. Now you will leave me be!" And she's going to take a step. Before that, Conley. As she enters within 30 feet of you, I need you to make me a con save.
No. Gosh. All right. 18.
Okay, you two are somewhat drawn to her gaze for just a brief second, and then you're able to break out of it and tell that you are almost just kind of enchanted for a second. But as she says this and kind of has this fit, she moves to the center of this tile and then steps onto it. And as you all have seen in other parts of this strange place, suddenly, directly and only in this tile, gravity seems to shift, and she flips into the ceiling, and about 100 feet up where the ceiling rests, she immediately is now into some black goop as well. But she now seems kind of obscure. It's kind of hard to hit something on the ceiling 100 feet away. It's also pretty dark. So, that's going to be her turn. Next up is Conley.
All right. So she's now up on 2?
Exactly. You are, you basically saw her rise to the top.
Just look at the top map real quick. All right. Cool. Well, irritates me mildly, so I'm going to turn towards 13, and with a very deep primordial voice, I just shout the words "Recover!" and cast Healing Word at 3rd level on 13. So take 12 hit points back. And then I'm just going, I'm going to hope this works the way I'm hoping it does. I'm going to stomp on the center of my square on 5.
Okay, yeah, you're able to find that same ornate looking kind of square within square. And as you step onto it, everything in the square, including, I believe, Jackal.
Yep.
Is flipped in this familiar stomach-wrenching upside-downness. As you flip up onto the ceiling. And unfortunately, you are lifted straight into some blackish goop that's hanging down and almost seems to resemble some sort of stalactites. So you're going to take a little extra damage. Actually, make me dex saves to see if you can mitigate some of it.
I was really hoping for that. All right, at least one of us will be okay. It's not me. 20 for me.
Okay.
10 for me.
Wow, I didn't.
You were supposed to be the dexterous one.
Yeah, that was unexpected.
But
Oh.
I have evasion.
Oh, okay. So you take out right? Or if you
If I take damage, then I'll take half.
Okay, gotcha. So you so the full damage would be 10 points of necrotic damage. So have that as you will. And then Conley, because you are stuck with it, you also take a consistent 2 points more of a necrotic damage. And Jackal, as you're able to avoid, you're able to avoid some of it with your evasion. However, you are still kind of greeted with a gloppy, muddy mess of this goop, and I need you to make a strength saving throw to avoid it clinging onto your person.
While you're rolling that, just to confirm, you're saying I took a total of 12 damage?
Yes.
Okay. Damn. Did that 20 half anything, or is that not good enough?
You took half of the 10, so you would take 5 instead.
Oh, okay. Heal.
That looks like a fun smile, Connor. What's up?
So there's very little of my person to avoid getting gooped up. I rolled a 3.
Okay. Yeah, so it's kind of a hard feat to do in the first place. You're getting flung into a goopy tile that It is completely just kind of surrounded by this stuff. And as you do, even though you're pretty dexterous, you find a globule that's stuck to your foot. It seems to drag you down, and you move now at half speed while this is affecting you.
Okay. So then,
so I think
that
it's
everything
still
for the
Conley's
float
turn.
at least?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so then I'm going to move forward to enter in friendly range of the alleged Medusa.
Yeah.
All right. So first, I'm re-entering its range for my spores, so it makes another
Okay.
save. I think it was.
It fails.
Woo! So then it takes a whole whopping 3 points of necrotic damage,
Okay.
and then, correct me if I'm wrong, you can cast a total of 1 spell and 1 cantrip, right? During a turn?
Yeah, if you cast multiple spells during your turn, only one of them can be a non-cantrip spell.
Cool. So then I am going to try and place a hand near her. Does not have to make contact, and I'm going to cast Chill Touch. So my fingers start to kind of look like they are like succumbing to a frostbite as the fingertips look like they rot a little bit, and like a little bit of energy extends from my fingers as I roll a 20 to hit.
Did you heal 13 this round, or was that last round?
Yeah, that was this round.
Isn't that an action?
Bonus action for healing word.
Yeah,
What-
bonus
Chill
action
Touch
for
is a
healing word.
cantrip.
It's a full spell, and then Chill Touch is a cantrip.
Oh, you cast Healing Word. I thought you were casting Cure Light Wounds. I'm sorry. Or Cure Wounds.
No.
Okay.
I was trying
Yeah.
to do that, but I couldn't get in Boop in range.
Ah, gotcha. Sorry, that was a 20 to hit? Because that
20 to hit?
That will hit.
Okay, and then that is going to be 10 necrotic, right? Yeah, necrotic damage.
Okay.
It also has disadvantage. Oh, never mind. Medusas aren't Zambos.
Okay. So you put out your this ghostly hand and are able to kind of shock her with it for a second. She takes some draining damage, but you can tell that this necrotic energy seems to be not quite as effective as some of your other attacks, and not all of it goes through.
I quickly turn upwards towards Sivan
Mm-hmm.
and just shout, "Don't use magic like me, it's not good!"
She kind of acknowledges what you're saying as much as she can in front of the dark, inky manticore thing, and yeah.
Alright, that's my turn.
Okay, back to the top of the round with Jackal.
Ooh, I am in goop. I don't like that.
Oh yeah, so anytime that you start your turn in goop, then I'm just gonna have you you take a single point of necrotic damage this time.
I would like to move myself into the reflection of square 6,
Okay.
if I can.
Yeah, you're definitely able to. It takes most of your movement to get through, but you are able to get there.
And then I would very much like to. Can I see the Medusa?
Yes, you can tell she's in her own goopy square at the reflection of 2.
With Conley?
Yeah, Conley is just engaged her.
Alright, I would like to make an attack with my short bow.
Okay.
God damn it. I have been rolling so many 3s, which are not 1s, so I cannot be lucky with them. That would be a 10 to hit.
Unfortunately, that will go wide, or probably more likely, you shoot into some of the goop, and it kind of takes the brunt of the hit.
Can be within 3 feet of you. Okay, yeah, I'm going to shout out, "Hey, Snake Face!" and try to help Conley
Okay.
with my bonus action.
Sure, absolutely. Alright, then if that is your turn, the next up is Sivan, and she is faced along with 13 with this really large creature, and I think she is going to cast Witch Bolt on it. So there's going to be a 12 to hit, which unfortunately is not enough. So this bolt of witching lightning completely misses and goes wide. But she is going to use her one of her little meteors and try to throw it at this thing as well. It failed the saving throw, so it takes full damage, and it will take 6 points of fire. All right. This thing seems to definitely be taken back by attacks, but it seems to almost be unyielding or uncaring of its own wounds. Next up is 13, facing down this large fellow.
13 turns to Jacqueline Savan and gives a slow blink of trust.
I am on the roof.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought you were okay.
I got this 13.
Cool. I'm gonna attack.
Go for it.
Actually, I'm gonna. Oh, that's gonna be rough.
Give it.
If 13's gonna drop his rage as a bonus action,
Okay.
because I need to cycle to another rage form. That's gonna have to happen to on another turn. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna attack first and then drop my rage as a bonus action.
Okay.
But non-reckless,
Okay.
because I don't want to die. Does a 13 hit?
Unfortunately, it does not.
Cool. I'm really a lot of 13s tonight.
A lot of 13s tonight.
I mean, 13 rolling 13s. Sounds appropriate.
Natural 20 for a 28.
You should have called yourself Natural 20. That will
20.
definitely hit.
Critter's gonna take 16 points of magical piercing damage, or slashing
Alright.
damage.
That's a big hit.
And then the final one is gonna be a 16
That will hit.
for big money. 10 points of magical slashing damage.
Okay. Yeah, you rip into this thing with multiple attacks, and it looks like it's bloody after this barrage.
And as a bonus action, he will drop his rage.
Okay. Absolutely.
That's his turn.
Okay. Next up is this friend, this large monstrosity, and I don't think it's too worried about Savan. I think it's still keeping on target. This is just a slugfest, as one would say. So it is going to take the opportunity to take a few bites, or a bite, or attempt to make a bite out of 13. So no reckless this time. So there's going to be a 19 to hit.
That's a hit.
And that would be for 6 piercing damage. Then it's going to make 2 claw attacks. One of them is going to be a 13.
That is a miss.
The other one is going to be a 23.
Rest assured.
Alright. That is going to be 7 points of slashing damage. How is 13 looking?
He's back in the 20 zones again.
Really? Okay. Good for
Yeah.
you.
Still on his
Alright.
feet.
Then, next up is that's going to be its turn. Next up is Miss Medusa, and she's going to be very annoyed that she was followed up here, and that you all had the gall to stick into this goopy mess. But she's going to lash out at Conley for his crimes against her wonderful hair. And she's going to start out with a short sword. It's going to be a 20 to hit.
Sure do.
Okay. It's going to be 4 points of piercing damage to Conley for that.
Okay.
Then it is going to make a snake hair attack against you.
Buddies.
That is going to be a 21 to hit.
Yep.
And it is going to be 5 points of piercing plus... Ooh, 17 points of poison damage.
All right.
As these small snakeheads dig into your flesh. And lastly, she's going to make one last short sword attack.
That's so many attacks.
It is 24 to hit. Wow, she's rolling really well. That's going to be another 5 points of piercing damage.
5.
How is Conley looking? Awesome. Then that is going to be her turn. And next up is Conley.
Right. Just quick spit some blood out of my mouth and look up. And then Primordial save recover again. And I'm gonna burn my final 3rd level spell slot to give my damage dealing friend more health.
Okay.
So healing word on 13. Okay, they come in. I guess cock dice are a thing in D&D Beyond. So that is 12 healing for 13.
And that's where I'm started from last round.
Yeah, stay alive.
Let me die.
And then now that I am all up in this person's business, I'm going to. I needed the open hand for at least the spell, so I have to one-hand the spear, but I'm going to try and strike her with the spear.
Okay.
You are being helped.
Yes, you are. You have advantage.
Sweet. So with advantage, I rolled a 15 to hit.
That will be a glancing blow. So yeah,
Glancing.
you have damage.
All right. So 8, so 4 piercing
4 points of
damage.
piercing damage.
And
All
then,
right.
since I made contact, a swarm save. What is the save?
Is it con?
I'm not going to have a save. Instead, I'm just going to add more damage, and my little friends are going to kind of all have like small like slivers of wood at the tip of my spear and do their own little spear strikes when they land, and do a total of 4 piercing damage.
Okay.
Well, tiny toothpick stabs.
Yeah, she's definitely hurting a lot. You were able to jab her through the abdomen, and it's definitely caught somewhere in there. She looks extremely badly hurt.
And then I real quick ask, if you die, does that too? And then point at the top of her head.
She spits in your face.
All right, that's my turn.
All right. Next up is back to the top of the round with Jackal. Oh, Conley, just you take 4 points of the necrotic damage from the goop. So Jackal is next, and you also have to take some. That is going to be...
I have stepped out of the goop.
Yes. So even though you stepped out of it, it still clung to you from that save.
Okay.
So you can use an action to potentially clear it off of you, but until
Okay.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I got another max roll, so 4 points of necrotic damage from it as well.
Okay. I clearly need to take steady aim again for this, so I am going to do that, and I am going to try and snipe Medusa.
Okay. Go for it.
19.
That'll hit.
Uh, 22 points of damage.
All right. As she is ripped into Conley 3 times and spat in his face, how would you like to finish her off?
Very... just blinking, you miss it, just like... Boom.
All right.
Dead. Die. Follow the goop.
Yep.
Yeah, we're done. Bye.
straight through into the head, quick cleave, and a fall back to the real ground from the ceiling. Back into the goop. And as this Medusa falls and crumples to a pile, you can see that part of her seems to immediately kind of dissolve with black, kind of strange, almost like pollen or smoke that starts to kind of flow off of her. And as this happens, you start to hear a large sound, and a lot of the black goop encompassing this strange lion figure starts to kind of burn away and dissipate up into the air. And as you see this, it starts to shrink all of a sudden. But as the rest of the chamber is no longer encompassed with the screeches of this snake person, that is where we are going to take our quick break. So, everyone, they made it through. Took some big punches here, but they did quite swimmingly, I'd say. So please take a second, go have a bio break, pet your pet, make sure to get some water, take care of yourself, take a stretch, and we will be back shortly. Thanks, everyone.
Oh baby, I love your madness.
Welcome to our Patreon. Here on Open for Adventure, we are making high quality Dungeons and Dragons content, folks. We have a great big world to share with you, and by becoming a patron, you can help us explore and expand upon this adventure. With your support, we can invest in more amazing artwork, better mics, fancy cameras, and overall stream quality. Not to mention, help us get some amazing new merch that we can use for giveaways. What do you get by becoming a patron? I'm so glad you asked. Let's take a look at the different levels and give you a sneak peek at what you can get at each tier. Did you know that the family of the First Lord Theo, the leader of the rebellion against the Empire, actually invented firearms nearly 25 years prior to the current campaign? The designs for this high-tech weapon are the Delaney family's best-kept secret. Also, they were originally invented by the late First Lady Victoria, Theo's mother. Access to lore leaks like this is what you can expect from the first tier, written in blog-style posts after each weekly session. Ever wondered what goes on off-camera? The next 3 tiers give you exactly that. With Stolen Moments, you can get access to text-based roleplay moments, highlighting experiences that don't make it onto the stream, like Leona's training session with Ray and Asmrin. Stolen Moments Plus gives you access to roleplay moments featuring our guests, non-player characters, and historical figures, featuring the likes of Marshall, Annalena, and even the Empress herself. And Roleplay Addiction takes us to a whole other level. This tier gives you exclusive 30-minute videos of canon interactions not otherwise seen on stream, like late-night drunken interactions between paladins or tender moments featuring your favorite character ships. The Warm Fuzzies is super simple. It's everything I've listed so far, and also you get your name on stream after our weekly regular sessions. Every session. And our Undying Love. And finally, the most epic of all Patreon tiers. Drum roll, please! The Lore Master. This ultimate and final tier gets you first look access at all of the content going into our upcoming, official, Open for Adventure campaign setting. Lore, maps, monsters, items, dungeons, dragons. Go ahead, have a look around, make yourself at home, and consider becoming a patron to help us make this fantasy world a little bit closer to reality.
Oh, hi! My name is Express Love. I'm the Senmarian god of coffee. Did you know that in Senmaria, every cup of coffee is made with found familiar coffee beans? That's canon. In Senmaria, every cup of coffee is good coffee because it's made with love by found familiar. Did you know that every bag of found familiar coffee features artwork from incredible members of the tabletop gaming community? That's canon. Each blend and roast of found familiar coffee features cool D&D names like Thieves' Cant, Face Step, and Pact Magic. In Senmaria, every royal meeting that Ray attends features the Cartographer's Blend, a brew of coffee made by Found Familiar in conjunction with Devon Rue. Now that's canon. Found Familiar Coffee. Buy it today.
Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium. Oh baby, I love your madness. It's so incredibly beautiful. Oh, you shine like gold, so selfless to all, and wild like an animal. Some would say I'm insane in the right in a way, but I just love to play in your fun and your games. Always hungry for more, that's just how I was born. Take me somewhere I don't know and give me your freedom. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium, life is so easy. Whoa, you love me to pieces, yeah, I need it. Want your pandemonium.
And we are back. Thank you so much for sticking with us after the break. Let's jump right back in where our heroes just found themselves toe to toe with a snake-haired creature and one that was conjured from a bubble of black goop at the back of this deserted temple. Let's jump right back in as the second that Jackal's arrow finds its mark. This crumpled Medusa falls from the ceiling down to the main floor in a mound, and then starts to dissolve and dissipate. Black, inky smoke and almost like a thick cloud kind of starts to come off of their body. And as this happens, this entire room is encompassed with a hissing noise as some of the black goop in different places starts to recede, and this creature, this lion, reptilian, weird chimera manticore thing starts to shrink down and suddenly seems to be lost. And it's kind of gone from a kind of very quiet killing machine to kind of like a writhing, like confused mass. And as it kind of shrinks and shrinks little by little, you hear that it's kind of like gurgling as it shrinks and becomes smaller and smaller. It's to the point where it's smaller than a horse, smaller than a smaller horse, smaller than a bigger person. And then finally what's left is a small, but not small as in, it's about a medium-sized creature that still seems to be somewhat feline and looks kind of like the same structure and face and hair color as 13. You can see that this is a Leonin that still has all this black inky goop stained into their skin, or into their hair, but you can see patches of this white. And currently you see that as their form kind of shrinks, they start to go from the into a I love this bonfires. I miss them. Oh, the oasis. And basically this small crumpled form is kind of having a fit or a kind of a fever dream on the bottom of on the floor next to you all. You all are able to descend from the top area back down. Most of the black goop is still there. It's just stopped writhing. It's stopped being so alive, and it still is very much taken most of the water below you to this black color. But as the hissing finally stops, where the crumpled Medusa lies, as it finally starts to dissolve fully, a brilliant, shining, piercing light emits from its crumpled corpse. And just everywhere seems to glint off your eyes, which is brighter than anything else in this room. And some of the ceiling seems to be partly made of that black goop, and some of the light from the outside Revea kind of filters in. And as this light kind of shines through the room, you now look around and find that behind that big black bubbly goop, there's revealed to be a large mirror in a massive circle disc shape that takes up at least 20-30 feet of diameter, and it seems to have parts chipped from it. But this light, it almost seems to kind of like coalesce into the mirror, and for a second it seems to kind of flash around, swirl, and encompass itself. After kind of piercing the room, you now see that the entire chamber seems different. You look around, and instead of the goop hanging from the ceilings, you see tapestries that are kind of hanging torn, but still very in place. You see that parts of the area that you were standing on, and the tiles are replaced with kind of what seems to be scissors and kind of needles and different kind of tools. And other parts of the room, you see there's a loom and some sort of weaving tools there as well. And after this mirror kind of coalesces for a second, it seems to lie dormant, and shine. It's just ever so slightly. But you are drawn back to the attention of this creature on the floor.
There is a pause before 13 will stalk over to the creature. They are on the floor, correct?
They are.
Conley and Jackal see a clawed hand reach down and extend, gently grabbing the shoulder and pulling them in.
Yeah.
And there is a very whispered, "Shh, you are safe now."
Do you know this person?
I do not know them personally.
13, do you want to make a perception
sure.
check?
I might know them.
I might know them. That is a 19 for 23 total.
Okay. So, first things first. You kind of, as you're embracing this form, kind of pulling some of the goop off of their face, it comes into form and looks strikingly familiar. So familiar, in fact, that as you look down on their palm, you turn it over and find something you know all too well. You find the scar, the brand that you have right on your forehead, emblazoned into this Leonin's palm. And you recognize the shape. You notice, though, that the form itself, the palm, is incredibly swollen and full of darkish, purplish, blackish energy that still seems to course through their veins. But as you turn back to who this might be, you recognize them. You recognize that this is someone who used to be part of your pack, your tribe. You know that her name was Takora, but she left the pack about a year or two ago, and you haven't seen her since.
Dak, that last statement. She was once part of my pack. She left not too long ago. But was I aware that she was like me, or?
You would know that there were probably a scattered amount of different people in your tribe that had the mark. Some of them hid it, though, and some of them didn't. So I'll let that be your decision.
I was not aware that she had the same affliction that I did.
When you say that, what do you mean? Like the grab hands and stuff that you can do?
He will nod his head.
I did not realize it was a sickness.
It is what they call a blood maledict. It is not natural for the people of the desert, the Leonin, to have this sort of ability.
Are you trying to kill yourself from this? Or does this hurt you?
Not that I'm aware of. Whenever I do so, it's only when the rage takes me. I cannot feel much then, except for the anger.
Do you need help with this? Is this why you are here with Sivan?
Some of my people have been looking for a cure for generations. We have yet to find one. Some of us have made our peace already. Some of us are still searching.
Where does that leave you?
I don't know. It has been useful in survival, but there are times when I can't control it.
What do you mean?
Sometimes in the middle of the night I will change. Sivan has mostly been asleep through most of it. But I have these nightmares. I dream of a certain place. I wake up covered in scars that I was not once had. I'm sorry for keeping it from all of you. The past couple of days have been very eventful, and I didn't really know how to bring it up in an organic situation.
Well, when you change at night, does this hurt your friends or you in any way besides the scars? Are we afraid that you might do something to us while we are asleep?
I am afraid that I might do something to you all when we rest, but so far,
It has not happened. You have not given me a reason to be afraid of you yet, so I don't think I will yet.
13 will nod his head. We need to find a healer for her.
Does anyone want to make some kind of medicine check to see how bad she looks?
Sure, I think I can make an attempt. Well, my attempt is a 26.
Okay. So, Conley, as you kind of assess Takora's wounds and her status, you can tell that she's kind of coming in and out of consciousness. She seems to be kind of whispering and talking to herself something about the palm fronds and the oasis, and just kind of strange seeming memories or things from her visions internally. But you notice that she does not look very well. You can tell that whatever this dark inky substance is, it's definitely obvious it's gotten into her blood system, and from this mark, it's continuously swollen. The only thing you can compare this to in your extensive medicine kind of background is someone that's been kind of either intentionally or unintentionally poisoned, but is suffering from extreme kind of like, you do not think that she has long for this world. It seems like most of the poison or whatever this is consuming most of her waking hours at the moment.
Would I know if I would be able to save them with a lesser restoration, or is it far too gone?
You think that similar to what you have done with purifying the water that you've seen before, you are able, usually with something like this, with a lesser restoration, to cleanse it off of someone who has been lightly affected by this goop. However, this entire creature seems to be engulfed with it, as if it's been soaked in it for hours, and you know that you could give it a try, but it might take a lot more magic to fully cleanse it from her system.
I can try, but I don't think I don't know whether or not I can do anything here.
If you
13,
can.
do you think you can get them to give me consent for me to cast spell?
13 will try.
How do you want to go about that?
Just hold it down.
It's a gentle, like, hair sweep and like a patting motion to get her attention.
Yeah, she seems somewhat responsive to your touch. She kind of like, even though she's kind of in a bit of a fit, she kind of turns her head. She goes, Pomfret, my favorite.
It has been a long time since I last saw you. I have some help here, but they need you to consent to the magic they are about to use.
She kind of like her head is kind of moved over, and very slowly, very heavy eyelids open up. But suddenly you see a change of face, just for a second, a glimpse of familiarity. And she kind of looks up and she goes, 13? What are you doing here? I haven't seen you in so long. Where have I been? What are you doing here?
I was exiled too.
You were. I'm so sorry.
You can be sorry when you're better.
Better. Why am I better? What do you want me to do?
Say yes to my friend here. They are about to help you.
Sure. Whatever they need. I think I'm gonna go take a nap after this.
And with that, I'll lean in and with a few hand gestures and a primordial recover, I cast lesser restoration on them in hopes that this will do some help.
Okay. I am going to leave this to a dice roll. So, Conley, please make me a spellcasting ability check that is going to be very difficult.
Okay. What is my spellcasting modifier right now? Proficiency is 3. My casting modifier is this.
Should be the same as your spell attack for Chill Touch.
Okay, cool. Well then, that's 21.
Okay. You seem to move your hands over Tokora's form and kind of with your restoration, it seems to kind of burn away some of the blight that's afflicting her. On her skin and her fur, it's very apparent and burns away quite readily. But willing it out of her chest and her mouth, spurts of blackish blood kind of spurt out in globules emit to the ground. You're able to feel like you're getting most of it out. However, as you're moving on to her right arm, the one that holds the palm that has the symbol on it, it seems as though your magic is meeting resistance, and you're not able to quite get it all. That being said, you think that will stabilize her for now, but you're not sure if that will last forever.
Okay. As I hold his head, I look up at 13. I think this will at least buy us some time, but we are definitely going to have to find a better healer than me.
Sounds as you tried, and I appreciate that.
And then I kind of just immediately let go of them and stand back up and give them some space.
13's gonna grab some ropes and tie her up into a papoose or a back carriage.
Sure. Absolutely. You all find yourselves alone in this chamber with a slightly glowing mirror at the back.
Yeah, I think while this is happening, if Jackal feels like everything's being handled over there, he's gonna go over and just like look around the mirror, just like survey. What was Medusa doing? Why all this for the fucking mirror?
Sure, absolutely. You walk up to this mirror, and first of all, the size and artistry of this mirror is immediately noticeable. The size, like I said, probably about 25 feet in diameter, and extends kind of in a slightly backwards tilted kind of form, with held up by two long stone pillars on either side. Parts of it is chipped and cracked, and chunks taken out of the edges, but the actual face itself seems to gleam as if not a single scratch had touched it. That being said, on the very outer ring, you can tell that there are some glyphs here, and it seems to be in some sort of language that I don't think you understand, but if Savan or Conley were to look, they would identify it as primordial.
I can speak primordial.
Oh, you can? Then I stand corrected.
There's only one of us who can't.
Oh, okay, so it's the three primordial gang and yeah. Okay, so you do identify this as primordial, though you can tell it's much more old or ancient, as if it's an old dialect.
Primordial.
Yes. You're able to kind of like catch different parts that aren't chipped from around the entire circumference. And what you can tell from reading them, it's kind of, as many kind of mystical carvings are, it's somewhat vague, but mentions things like to look inward into one's soul is the most beautiful reflection one can have, and to pierce the veil and show your true self, find your marriage between your body, mind, and soul, and see it here. Things of that nature. If you look directly at it, as if to look at your reflection, you actually notice that that's not Jackal. It moves with Jackal, but it's not Jackal. What you see instead is a strange blue, amorphous outline. Something that resembles your form, but doesn't seem to fill it up. Something that's taken up the space and pulses with a bright light inside, but does not have your sharp features. It seems to be concentrated into where your chest would be, and it seems to pulse as you move back and forth.
Okay, that's weird. So it's just this like blue warbly thing.
It's like as if something were mimicking your every move, but it does have the general shape of your body. It's just not very sharp. It's like kind of a glowy blue iridescent form.
Okay. Is there anything about the mirror that Jackal would be able to figure out what the Medusa was trying to do with this?
How are you inspecting it? Are you touching this, or are you just kind of going up to it and being very careful and just looking around it, or?
I'm going around it and I'm touching it, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you go around the back face of it, and nothing seems to be too terribly out of place here besides some spider webs here and there. But as you kind of make your way back around and your finger touches the front of the mirror, you suddenly hear a dong that seems to resonate out from the place where you touched. And suddenly it seems to respond and echo in the chamber across all of the walls that contribute to this big reverberation chamber. And suddenly, as this pitch kind of comes to its highest resonance, a large glow emits from this mirror, just as it was when you first saw it go in, except for this time it has a strange warm form to it. It comes out in this sweeping motion, but then seems to take shape. It seems to be some massive, or I guess it would be huge in D&D terms, but seems to be a humanoid figure. It seems to be wearing a very ornate, woven white and gold robe with some sort of ornate mask and kind of a cowl that encompasses most of this figure, but it floats in the middle of the air. And it seems to kind of like emit just like a really comforting warmth that just seems to fill you with hope. It kind of has these two holes for eyes that look down at you, and even though you can't see its mouth, you can tell that it's smiling. It's floating in the air, and its feet seem to be completely separated from the bottom of its garment. And the final feature that is the most prominent of all is a woven blue and gold and white scarf. A long, massive scarf that you see flows from its neck and down to its side. It kind of emerges from the mirror and looks down upon you.
Okay.
Everyone sees this.
What?
Does it look like it is acknowledging our existence in this room at all, or is it just kind of floating around in here?
As it emerges from the mirror, it looks down at Jackal, and its face kind of like floats up to Jackal's face, and then turns kind of like quizzically, but does not say anything.
I will hold a javelin at the ready.
All right, that is unsettling. I'm gonna need you to speak your intentions real quick, sir. Or, sir.
You say this to this form, and it responds with a. It doesn't voice it. Its mouth doesn't open, and you can't see its mouth. But it just has just like a chime of a bell. It's like.
That doesn't clear things up at all.
Where did this thing come from?
I touched the mirror.
Did it come out of the mirror?
Did I see it physically come out of the mirror?
You saw the light that it turned from into, yeah.
Light, I guess. A mirror light. I don't.
And this scarf, DM, this resembles the scarf that we use for transportation into this area.
As you look at yours, there's an uncanny resemblance. Although the one that this one wears seems to be even more ornate.
Roll the right notes furiously.
Friend.
As you say that,
friend points at scarf.
So you point to the scarf, yeah. So as it kind of like was turning and looking at Conley and 13 saying things, it turns back to you, and then it seems to acknowledge the scarf, and then suddenly you go. It comes up to you and it lays out its two ghostly, kind of like hands in an upwards motion. You can see now that you're up close to it, this thing's sleeves seem to be long and kind of like go below where the arm would be, but then the hands themselves seem to be separate from the rest of the form, floating in their own kind of realm, and they seem to be all stuck in this kind of like way. It can't like change its fingers, it sticks like this.
Yeah. Pulls off the scarf and like puts it forward, just like looking for any sort of acknowledgement, like, yes, this is what you're supposed to do from the spirit.
It takes it.
Yeah.
But we are not about to lose our way back.
It's kind of like just takes it for a second and starts to like inspect it, kind of like looking at different parts of the weaving, the stitching. It seems to be preoccupied with itself for a sec.
So we are gonna need that back since we ain't from here. That's sort of our
as you say this, Savan is obviously here with you, and Savan actually notices something weird. Gypsum has kind of crawled out from Gypsum has crawled out from her arms and kind of like down her leg, and kind of gotten slightly close to this strange glowing thing, and as it rings and responds with its high-pitched rings, it starts to kind of like, Gypsum turns back to Savan and says something, and long story short, Savan conveys that it seems like Gypsum can understand what this thing is, and or rather not what it is, but what it's saying.
Gypsum, then can you tell Gypsum to tell it that we need the scarf back, okay?
Can we like spark notes what just happened as I froze?
Oh sure, how long have you frozen?
the last thing I said is we're gonna need that back since that's our.
The only thing that happened was that Savan came up and noticed that Gypsum can talk with it, or at least understand it, and that was it. So basically, it's now taken your scarf, and as you say that you need it back, you see it turn to Gypsum the snake, and now that it can tell that it understands it, it rings a just completely deadpan, but this ringing goes throughout the room. Gypsum conveys back to Savan that it's asking where you got this scarf.
What is her name?
We didn't get it from her. We got it from the prison.
Right.
Oh yeah. What's the name of the faction, though? That's what I'm like furiously looking through my notes for. What's the name of the faction that used to have these scarves?
The Wayfinders.
Is it the Wayfinders? Okay.
Yeah.
And
It's a show I'm watching with that same name, so I was like, that's wrong.
You recall that this temple is known as the Temple of the First Wayfinder, which the spirit crane told you about.
Sivan, if you can tell Gypsum to tell that we are friends of the Wayfinders, maybe.
Well,
you hear a and Gypsum and then Savan convey the message. Savan chuckles to herself and basically says, "It can understand you."
I mean, we found that in it was like split up into like 4 little disc things in a prison on a world where it's more solid.
Russia.
After it got blown to shit by some demony goop, just like what we found this mirror in.
And Gypsum relays that it asks, what do you plan to do with it?
Try to clean up the spirit goo, I guess.
We come to fix what is going on here because it is hurting our side of the world too.
And it's conveyed that it's basically saying you intend to cure the world of this. You do not wish to use it for your own gain.
No, it is hurting my friends and family. It is hurting the plants in our world. It's not a good thing. So we are here to help tend to the balance.
If fixing our world and removing this black goop from it is us, you consider us using it for our own gain, then yes, we are going to use it.
And it conveys back that you then intend to cleanse the tree of mana from its...
Is that where the group is? Is that where the group's come from?
It gives you an affirmative.
Do you have any other information about that?
And it basically comes back and says, if you want, I can show you. The tree itself is corrupted by a very dark power, and it seems to be impaled with something that is killing it. But it has no power to solve it, though it does remind it of something from its own time.
What do you mean with that?
It like quizzically like...
When you say it reminds you of something from your time, what does that mean? What is your time?
thinks to itself for a second and then kind of relays something to the effect of, there once was a awful mad king that was from my time. And the rough name that you can get from it is Zemarius. And it tells you that back when I was alive, this king and his advisor did awful things. And the blight upon the Tree of Mana resembles that which it remembered from there.
Do you know how long ago this was?
It kind of gives you another and it kind of has a little bit of a smile to it in the sense, and it goes, "How long have I been dead?" is what it asks.
I don't know who you are.
It's new information that we are talking to a dead guy. So, I would, Jackal would know a little bit about the history of, at least, Zaracuda.
So, make me a history check.
Another fucking 3. 6.
Oof.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop.
I'm gonna make my screen a little bit bigger so that it has more room to roll.
You know what? One of you all roll for Savan. She's got a +6.
I believe that's 13's duty.
Okay.
Natty 20.
Natty 20 for 26.
Wow.
We love you, Chris.
Savan, you know so much.
Savan basically tells you that that name sounds really weirdly familiar. And basically she says, have you all ever heard of the Mad King of Onyx?
Mad King what?
The Mad King of Onyx, of course.
Nah.
Do we? Something we've come across before in our notes?
I would say that Jackal would probably be the only one that has heard of this phrase before.
Yeah.
You might have heard of it, but you might not know the specifics. It's honestly more referenced maybe as like a children's warning than it is like part of history. But what you know is that Savan explains to you that this was a king from a few hundred years ago, where this king was consumed with greed and a ton of power from their resources, and kind of went paranoid and absolutely just kind of manic. It was known for kind of like dividing up strange relics into different places around the desert because he was afraid that someone would steal them if he kept them in his own possession. And finally, what he was known for was, after one of his precious artifacts was stolen, he tore up his entire kingdom in a magical rage and sent the entire main capital city of his domain into the sands below, and never was seen since. It was said that his advisor was also potentially involved. But that's all she knows.
I thought that was like a boogeyman. That can't be fucking real.
Savan's like, well, don't you have some sort of libraries in Zaracuda that you could look up?
We're a long way from Zaracuda.
Well, yes.
We're not in Kansas anymore.
What?
Where? What? I mean, this is a ghost telling us that this person is real. I don't think we have the right to doubt it.
We are currently in a world of spirits that has blackened goop that changes people into giant manticores, and a spirit is telling us that the Mad King exists. I think we have like a sort of... what's the word? It's believable.
Oh, I can suspend my disbelief. Please, don't worry about that. We also have this crisis on our own world that may involve another dark spirit. It's something that's spreading this evil goop, tearing holes in people, assassinated the Sultan. Did anything come out of here recently that you would know about?
If you call the Shade?
Yeah, the Shade. I mean, since you already know about the corruption of the tree.
It kind of has a ponderance for a sec as it muses to itself, and Gypsum translated into saying, "This does sound slightly familiar. It was said that during the time of the Mad King, there was a cloud of darkness, one that could roll over 5 people at a time and steal their breath in one go, and leave them without body parts in a very clean cut, as if cleaved through perfectly."
Anything else? Like, how it was stopped?
It was not stopped while I was alive. But I can tell you one thing. Your scarf speaks to me. The last owner. They are the ones who have cleansed the world of that shade, and I can tell it was locked away. Hopefully safely forever.
That's not true.
It's not locked away anymore. Also, the scarf can talk. What was the owner's name? Also, what is your... I know I have a lot of questions right now. What is your name?
It kind of, as it does this little chime, it takes a very large, kind of like sweeps out its massive arms and gives you a bow. And it says, "My name is Onaya, the first Wayfinder. And I did not know this one, but this one's name was Karoni. She was very brave." And it also kind of muses on about the reason why I know who this is because the scarf has all the information right here. You see, it tells of who she was, how she joined the Wayfinders, and even her character.
What about the whole thing about locking up the shade? Does it have that in there?
Unfortunately, it only goes into what was there when this was made. You see, all the Wayfinders were taught to weave their own scarves and imbue with their essence the power itself. So each one is unique.
If you take us to the tree, do you think that we might have the ability to cure it, or do you think we are not strong enough? I can barely on my own remove this sickness from people and plants.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't do that. I don't do that stuff.
We want to help. We do. We very much do want to help.
We need reinforcements.
And muses and thinks, and it says, "Unfortunately, I cannot directly bring you to the tree. However, I can show you it in my mirror if you so wish. But be warned, if you do intend to trek there on your own, you have the Canyon of Secrets in front of you, as well as whatever awful beast waits at the coalescence of this curse upon the tree."
Well, we have been mostly successful at killing beasts so far. I don't know about secrets, but I think we can at least try our best if you can show us the way. I am speaking for myself. Are you all okay with this?
Yeah, so long as like we don't the Revea material people in here for too long. Is that a thing that we have to worry about, DM?
Sorry, say that again?
Material people being in Revea for too long.
So,
is that...
you know that you all have to kind of like every so often kind of retouch the scarf. And if
It's our anchor.
And if you go
Okay.
too long without it, then that's when problems happen.
Okay.
I'd like to get this one out of here if possible.
Yeah, we might need to make a pit stop and come back.
If you do intend to go to the tree, then make sure you have the power to slay the abomination that waits there. I myself am not confident in my own abilities, even if I were alive.
At a lower tone, so our new ghost friend at least can't hear us. I'm going to turn to the rest of them and go, I really want to see this through, but I don't know if we are strong enough. And I don't know if that one there is going to last long if we are too slow.
I hate to say it, but she is a liability right now.
We need to get her out, yeah. And maybe figure something out. Better weapons or something.
Would you like to see the tree? Or would you like to use it for its intended purpose? To see your own soul?
I would like to look.
It kind of sweeps to the side and gestures up.
You know, I saw some like blue shit, but
Right. Conley goes up and looks at the mirror.
Okay. Conley, you look in the mirror and find something that you're not quite sure what you're looking at. You can see that inside the mirror there's an orangish glow that emits from your midsection and kind of fills out your legs and your feet and even one of your arms. But in a strange diagonal, almost cross-section of your body, the other side seems to be missing. The glow itself seems to be severed halfway through. And as you're kind of like looking after a while, and then turn, if you turn to the other side, suddenly your vision changes, and instead you see what seems to be kind of a dim brown and still orange, but much more dark and less vibrant. And you can see that, strangely enough, for a second, you have a flash of vision. And what you see is your form crumpled in some sort of cell or bonds. and unmoving and weeping. And after that flash, you come back and see that the other half of your body is only illuminated and still has this very faint but glowing aspect to it.
What the hell? What was its name here? Onaya. What does... Am I okay? Is this what I am supposed to see?
It kind of floats over to you, looks into the mirror after you, and it kind of goes... Gypsum conveys, your soul, it is not as one.
What do you mean, as one?
It has been severed, as if separated, pulled in two directions. It seems as though one side, being dimmer than the other, has not been nourished, is lost.
I don't think I understand. Is lost? My soul is not here with me right now? Like,
Is it because we haven't touched that scarf in a little bit?
It gives you negatory and then goes on to say, if you are able to see any glow of it, then it must still exist, though somewhere here in Ravea.
do you know where I might start to look?
Well, the bad news is that there are many creatures in Ravea that intend to manipulate the free soul for evil or very painful use. The main cluster of places is, well, it is the bridge, the Great Bridge, where one crosses over from their mortal shell into a purely spirit body. It is known as Rakatora, and it is the crossing over of the dead.
So, if I were to almost die, would I be able to find this bridge faster?
I do not suspect you hurting yourself will get you any closer to finding your soul. The other half, that is.
What are the dangers? What are the dangers of me not having a soul? This is all very new to me.
I am not familiar with many that have had either half a soul, well, or none at all, though those who have their souls stolen are not themselves afterwards. It is extremely hard to restore one without any soul to their former state. It is as if they are walking without life. They become glazed over, and their personality is gone, lost to the winds, and their soul severed can never make its way back without help. So I am not sure the fate of such a thing, but the fact that that still glows, even dimly, means there's a chance. You see, we as Wayfinders, as one of our goals of going between Ravea and Arasha, we're the only few to help people search for those who've lost their soul. And sometimes it worked, but other times it didn't.
Okay. Then can you show me the way to this bridge?
I can give you a direction and follow a path that will lead you very close. The path is not far from this temple itself.
How long would it take me to get there?
time. I haven't thought about that in a while.
How many palm trees will plant seeds before I get there?
I would say 3 palm seeds.
Thank you. Thank you. And then Conley just kind of becomes quiet.
The Jackal wants to determine if that's a Conley problem or if it's an all of us problem.
I mean, what do you want? How do you want to go about making this distinction?
Do I have half soul in that mirror?
As you go back and look, the blue figure seems to extend through your entire figure. It's still amorphous, but it is even and it is consistent.
Okay, I don't know what this means, but it doesn't look like it's all of us. Did something happen to you? Did you almost die? Do you have any other traumas that may have some sort of spiritual effect?
I don't know. Like I said when we were talking at the hotel or whatever, I don't remember anything before I was 9. If something happened, it must have been before then, because I can remember most things. But I don't think this is good, and I need to make sure I find this as fast as possible.
All right. Because I don't really know what I'm looking at. Does this mean my soul's all right?
Your soul is bright and vibrant as the sun. You have a strong resolve within you.
Do we think we have enough time to go to the bridge before we drop her off?
Conley got the impression that if he did not do lesser restoration, he felt as if she probably had hours, maybe even minutes. Now that he has given the lesser restoration, I'd say it's extended between hours and days.
But what about palm seeds?
You would think that might resemble days.
What are we thinking?
Onaya, do you still need your scarf? May I ask to borrow until I come back to this mirror again?
You and I are of one mind. I have an idea. And Onaya floats across the room to one of the broken, abandoned looms. And after kind of like a glowy, kind of hand-wavy gesture, this loom seems to rebuild itself. And as it does, it's got a workbench next to it, some old tools, and it seems to kind of strangely, spiritually do something to these 2 scarves. As it's got its back to you, and after just a minute or 2, it comes back and it goes, I do not have the pleasure of the company of my Wayfinders any longer, and I can tell that there are no more left in the world to carry on the tradition. That being said, it was you all that have bared this scarf, and your goals towards helping the world, saving those that are injured, and protecting the realm make you just as legitimate Wayfinders as the one that first wore this scarf. Thus, I have a gift. And it kind of like pulls out from its from its sleeves, and pulls 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different scarves, and passes them to you. They all kind of float out to you equally. It still has a little bit of its scarf left, but it's shortened, and you all can see that yours are just as long as the original, and they're also colored uniquely, with a jackal having a dark navy or blue, Conley with kind of a dark burning orange, Savan with a peridot green, and 13 with a bit of a red, kind of like a brick red.
Thank you.
You know how to use this, don't you?
We knew how to use the one that we put in your hands. I assume it's the same.
It is.
Okay, then we kind of know.
And whenever we say use it, we mean jump back to material plane and back.
Yes, you must have known the ritual in order to get here, yes?
There's not anything else it does that we're not aware of, is there?
Well, it protects you from your soul wanting to separate from your body. It weaves your body and soul together, and it masks your presence from the dark fiends that feast on souls in this blasted landscape.
Okay.
It will not protect you from their bites, but it will protect you from their detection.
That is more than what we started with. 13, I think we need to get your packmate to a doctor as fast as we can. I need to get to that bridge as fast as I can. I think.
Are you suggesting that you're going alone?
Well, kind of. I don't think that there is a good way to leave a trail for you to follow.
I think for the most part, our best plan right now is to go back, rest, and maybe find some sort of weapon, or at least better equip ourselves with some healing potions. And he's clutching at like several bite wounds on his torso. We will all do a lot better at full strength.
I'm just afraid I might not have that much time. And I don't know what happens to me when I run out. I think I am going to at least start walking. If I find a place, maybe I can find a way to get a message back to let you find it faster. But I don't want to lose my soul. I don't know what it means, but I think I need to make sure I can tend to this balance before I leave.
If I were to go back and drop this one off immediately, come back to the spirit world, I could track you down. I was a hunter in my pack.
Onaya, I have friends. They look like this. I pull out just Superior real quick. Do they have the ability to maybe stay in one place, like breadcrumbs, Or will they move just like the rest of everything else that happens in this place?
Most things in this world shift around us when we are not looking. Thus, anything that stays and is and sees will not be changed around them.
Okay. I am going to have to separate from my family.
I can pick them up on my way back.
Yeah. I will leave them. Is that okay with you? Thank you. Thank you. I need you to stay awake and stay looking around you so that nothing changes while I am gone. Okay. I'll put it back in my pocket. Okay, I think that's the best plan I can come up with. I will leave my family behind, one after another, until I find this bridge. And then hopefully, you can find my family and bring them back to me when you come back, okay?
He'll nod his head.
Okay.
Before 13 bamps back to the material, he'll take a glance over at the mirror. I've already a lot on my plate.
Do you not wish to see the tree before you leave?
That and we want to see 13's fucking soul.
Okay, fine. 13 will consent and trepidatiously walk up to the mirror.
Just to be clear, if you all try to look in the mirror when someone else is in front of it, you don't see anything. You only see yourself, your own.
The viewers want to see 13's soul.
That's okay.
The audience wants to see.
Right, I was just saying. So 13, you kind of walk up casually as you would any other mirror, but as you see what it has in store, you see a rich, vibrant warmth of red that mostly illuminates most of your form. It seems to be very warming and strong and just radiant of heat almost, even though it's just what you see. Except you notice that parts of this form, close to your forehead especially, and in different parts of your body, there seems to be almost dead zones or splotches of a purple and blackish form. It seems to be an absence of the glow, and it almost has little tendrils as if it's continuing into the red.
Yeah, that tracks.
Your soul isn't split in half, is it?
It is a fiery red. In the places that I can change, there is a deep purple.
So the curse that you have, the poison or whatever, is changing your soul somehow too?
13 will shrug. Currently irrelevant as a problem. Right now we need to get your soul intact. We need to get this one home.
Okay. When we come back from all this, we will have somebody who can look at books for you. We will try and find out something, okay?
13 will nod his head.
It's got a lot more serious than I was expecting.
Alright. So we're about to leave. You're going to get your soul. You're going to drop your mate off. Sivan, what's your plan?
Savon will go wherever y'all. She's up to the group's decision.
We'll just temporarily staple Savan to 13.
And if you want, here I'll just say this: you all agree to kind of maybe you all have to at least go back a little bit in one direction out of the temple, but before you do, Onaya turns back to you and just gives you a.
Yeah, we're gonna see the tree before we leave.
Well, good. I was going to say that you are Wayfinders now, and thus the path will always be lit for you, even if it is illuminated only by your own 2 feet.
Well, thank you. We will do our best with what we came here to do, and we will try to attend to balance as best we can.
The Onaya kind of gestures to the mirror quizzically one last time.
All right, we'll look.
Show us the tree. Show us the tree.
Okay, you all walk up to this mirror, and this time Onaya kind of takes a very long intentional hand wave in a circular motion. And as it does, instead of the normal reflection, everything seems to spin for a second. And as it does, it seems to kind of become even closer and closer in your vision, similar to that of the large, or the crystal ball from the coronation. And your vision is now full of a very crisp area. It's got just a slight kind of like bloomy tint to everything. And you find yourself in a completely foreign area, but your view is immediately dominated by one of the most, easily the largest tree you have ever seen in your life, including Conley, that of the rainforest. You see that this massive tree must be at least a few hundred feet in diameter. Its roots are the size of buildings, and its structure as it forms a trunk must be at least 1,000 feet high. It is sprawling and massive, and unfortunately, you can tell it's dying. The vision pans around it, and you see that there are shrinking and shriveling limbs filled with kind of black splotches on the leaves, ones falling off and those that have obviously already fallen. And there seems to be a massive, almost moat or lake structure around it, and unfortunately that too is almost completely engulfed in the black ichor. You can see that out of this moat there seems to be multiple different streams that fall from it, and you identify that one of them just has a little bit of a green tint to it, and seems to resemble that of the river that you're already following. You can tell now that as the kind of vision pans up, and the very heart of the tree, what you see is something very foreign. What you see is a massive, the size of a building spike or spine, a curved, piercing, talon-looking thing, jet black, slightly purplish, and it's pierced into the middle of the tree and seems to be emitting goop from its wound. And at the base of it, instead of just a normal kind of like flat cutoff, it actually forms what looks like a very ominous skull carved from the end of it.
Does it remind us of the little barbs that were in our guards in Ziracuda?
You think that the curve is pretty similar. They're both kind of slightly curved. They're both the same color. That's about all you can tell, but it's certainly not unfamiliar. You also can see now that there are small forms flitting about here and there. Small, it seems to be imps or small creatures of dark and demonic origin. And you can tell that there's not a lot of life that is living around here.
So that is what we need to kill.
You're moving as it kind of like finally pans out, and you've seen most of what you think is there to see. Finally, for a second, you see that the vision wobbles for a second. It seems to almost like a connection's not quite there. And as the kind of like vision starts to flicker, suddenly one massive, large foot, again massive, and a leg that seems to be almost, again, as tall as a building, filled with spines and spikes like those you've never seen before, comes into view and rips through your vision. As you can see these spikes pierce through what you were looking at, immediately the vision fades, and the mirror itself goes back to its previous form. You would guess from the size of that leg, it must be at least a 5-foot diameter foot and at least a 10 or 20-foot leg segment.
Luke,
Take
we're level
back.
7.
I think that is what we are supposed to kill.
We're going to need some bigger hand axes.
We'll need a fucking army.
Oh, and the last thing I forgot to mention is that around the very circle of the big moat thing seems to be a row of strange glyphs that emit in this dark kind of aura. It seems to be some sort of incantation that, an enchantment circle that encompasses the entire lake. You're not sure what it does though, before it was clawed through the vision. That is what you must be prepared for if you wish to cleanse the tree.
You got anything that can help with that?
I feel as though the resemblance with the Mad King is too strong to ignore, but a clear answer I have none.
I think I have a few ideas, but I think that we need to first regather first. So, if we all succeed at doing our next thing and we can find each other again, I might have a couple of ideas.
As you all are leaving the chamber, Onaya gives you one last chime and says, "May the light of the Wayfinders always guide your path," and bows to you one last time before fading back into the mirror. And that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
This was fun.
We did a lot. Y'all accomplished a lot tonight. Thank you all so much for being here tonight and sticking with us. Let's go around and give our sign-offs and your favorite part.
Hey everybody, it's me, RJ. You can catch me at RJ622 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes post Monster Hunter clips. You can catch me on Mondays on our Hunger campaign with Connor over at the Indoor Adventures channel. I play a Shatterkai wizard who's... I think we have downtime next week, correct?
Yeah. Well, I hope.
Yeah. We got through some stuff. As one does. You can catch me over at... No, I think that's about it for that week, besides the Hype Goblins channel on Sunday, where I am going to be playing as a cleric sorcerer, Asmar, and we are mid-boss fight. We're fighting a Dracolich. It's... Yeah. I chill touched it, and then I... freezing bolted it, so it can't regain HP, and it has disadvantage on attack rolls against me. It's still gonna use a breath weapon. It's not gonna be fun. But that's it. If I go live anywhere else, I'll tweet about it.
What was your favorite part?
My favorite part is wailing on that Chimera and that Snake Lady.
Awesome. Who's next?
Hi. I'm Cyber. I stream as well. Man, I'm tired. If you can find my Twitter, it's spelled exactly like you see there in chat. It's got links to all the things I do, my streams, my YouTubes, the other YouTubes that I edit for, and lots of cool stuff. I liked the combat. It was good. I miss using battle maps. I didn't realize how much I did.
I feel that. Sorry, Mike.
Fun puzzly stuff.
Cool.
Hello there. I'm Media Flare, your resident voice actor, for hire, of course. And you can find me on my own Twitch channel as I stream video games from time to time. You can also find me on here every Wednesday, of course. And you can follow me on Twitter for fun jokes and memes and a lot of leftist nonsense. My favorite part of the evening was probably finding out quite a lot about my own character. I don't know too much about my background, so I'm a little scared of what might happen to me in the future.
Alright, and that just leaves me. My name's Luke. I was your DM tonight. And you can find me on Twitter at Dr. Petrichor, as well as on the O4A Discord. And that's where I tweet about turtles and video game cinematics and all sorts of stuff like that. My favorite part tonight, I think I just like how afraid you all were of Onaya from right at the beginning, because it's like, what is this thing coming out of this creepy ass mirror? And that's totally valid, but
Lou.
Yes.
A ghost came out of the fucking mirror.
It's a
Just
nice
false
ghost.
That's typically bad.
Well, we're breaking barriers here. What can I say? Wow. That was just fun to subvert those expectations. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it for us tonight. Besides our wonderful warm fuzzies from our Patreon. So we want to give a thank you to all of our wonderful supporters, and that's going to start with Bel Chavez,
Bel Chavez!
L Street Gaming,
L Street Gaming!
Rick O,
Rick O,
Strix,
Strix,
Deborah, and Blessed Elua.
Blessed Elua.
Thank you all so much for your continued support. We really do appreciate it, and it helps pay for our art. So that's going to be it for us tonight, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in next week where we see what happens next. Thanks you all, and have a great night. Bye, everyone.
Goodbye.